Hello everybody, in my last video I went over the difference between thinking and feeling that something is true. And in this video I'll be going over the importance of having a winning mindset. Really all of the things that I say in this video are things that will apply to situations like reaching goals and competing against an opponent. Now right off the bat, a lot of you are probably thinking, this seems fairly straightforward, you know, just be confident in yourself and do your best and all of that stuff. But I guarantee you the topic of having a winning mindset goes way deeper than this. And by that, I mean that it really is way more important than you might think. Let me begin by giving you some background information. All throughout growing up, I felt like I was on the losing team. You know, when I played Little League in elementary school, we were on a team that won some and lost some, which isn't bad, but our rival team from the same town was far better than our team was. And every time we went up against them, they just creamed us. In middle school, I played soccer, and our team was absolutely terrible. I continued playing soccer in high school, and even though my freshman year, the varsity team was fantastic, I was a freshman and I was still semi-new to the sport, so I never played varsity. I didn't feel like part of that team. My sophomore year, we weren't quite as good, but we were still pretty good. We won significantly more games than we lost, but again, I didn't play that much varsity my sophomore year, so I didn't feel that connected to the team. The JV teams that I was primarily playing on for those beginning years of high school were okay at best. We tended to win maybe as many as we lost, maybe a little bit less than however many we lost. My junior year, I was a varsity starter, but our team had gone from being overall good to now overall bad. We won less games than we lost, and the games that we did win oftentimes were very, very close games. Now, that all just had to do with sports, but it felt the same way in other competitive areas as well, you know, me being on the losing team. Or at least that's how I felt it was. You know, you tend to overemphasize the negative things and underemphasize the positive things. So it very well might be the case that I was kind of evenly on a winning team or a losing team, but it felt to me like I was constantly on the losing team. Either way, I was, without knowing it, being conditioned to not like competitive things. If someone were to ask me when I was a bit younger, hey, do you want to race from here to there? Or do you want to see who can hold each other's breath longer underwater or something like that? I honestly really wouldn't want to, because I just felt like my odds of losing were greater than my odds of winning. The funny thing is that I began to feel like there was something out of my control that was just like forcing me to lose in competitive situations. I knew it was irrational, but nevertheless, that's just how I felt, and it was aggravating. And again, it's not like I was just losing all the time and never ever winning. It's just, I felt like there was this pattern of me more often than not being on the losing team. And oftentimes, losing, even though I felt like I had the technical skills and ability to be able to win. But that pattern was solidified such that I was more likely to think that I would lose than win. It wasn't until later that I finally realized there was something legitimately contributing to my losing and making it more likely for me to lose, but that this thing wasn't something out of my control. It was in my control. It was my own mentality, my own mindset. Henry Ford, of course, has that incredibly famous quote, "Whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right." And while that misses one important aspect of winning, namely that you need to have at least some level of skill or some level of understanding or knowledge about a subject, Nevertheless, it does touch on a very important point. Your mentality can either greatly help you or greatly hurt you. Stop focusing on failure and having a mindset of, oh, I'm probably going to lose and they're so much better than me and why do I always lose? And that kind of stuff. And start focusing more on the prospect of winning. And when I say that, I don't mean thinking, wow, winning would be so great, and doing nothing. Think realistically and figure out what you need to do to win, and then do your absolute best to do what you need to do to win. And if you're in a more sports-related situation, then my best advice is definitely to stop focusing on a negative what if. Like, what if I miss this shot? What if I strike out? What if I fail? Focus on the what do I need to do. That is, focus on the actual situation that you're actually in right now. In these high-speed and high-precision sports, focus and awareness is key. In any case, if you stop dwelling on the idea of failure and start focusing on what you need to do to get to where you want to be, then you will have a winning mindset. Now, obviously, you can't just replace your default pessimism with a kind of default optimism. That is, you can't go from automatically assuming I'm going to lose to automatically assuming I'm going to win. You have to think realistically. You have to focus on what needs to be done to succeed, and that's really it. Yeah, sometimes you'll fail, but don't get bogged down. Pick yourself up, think about why you failed, and try and do better next time. That's having a winning mentality. To end the video, I'm just going to give a little personal example of this in action, so to speak. I like to play airsoft, and sometime in the not too distant past, I was playing airsoft on a team which was admittedly much worse than the team we were going up against. And pretty much everybody gave up right away. But rather than just going along with all them and saying, oh yeah, well, it's done, we lose, oh well, I really wanted to win. So I was like, guys, please do not give up. Like, let's just think about what we need to do to win this game. And so they kind of started taking it seriously again and actually competing. And we ended up winning the game because we were able to get out of this mentality of, oh man, dude, there's no way we can do it, and strictly focus on what we needed to do right then to win. Ask yourself, does the underdog win because they suddenly gain amazing skill that they didn't have before? Or do they win because they had a shift in mentality? So, that is the end of this video. I hope this video was able to get you to think with a more winning mindset in the future. If you liked the video, then without a doubt, share it with someone you know and subscribe to keep up with my newest videos. If you feel like you have something to say or you have an idea for another video, leave it in the comments. I love getting comments. I actually don't know what I'll be going over in my next mental health video, but certainly I will know when the time comes. So, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you then.